Nico Harrison has officially been fired from the Dallas Mavericks. It only took a bad Luka Doncic trade and them starting like 1-8 for them to finally get rid of him. And now that he's gone, it's like a dark cloud has lifted over the Dallas Mavericks, and they could finally move forward with possibly a new rebuild, a new path forward. And now that Nico Harrison is gone, now it really brings into question, what do they do next? They have Anthony Davis, who they traded for Luka Doncic, who's an amazing player, but currently he's out with a calf strain and he's missing his 8th game at the time of this recording. Rumors went around that Nico Harrison actually was in favor of Davis returning to the court sooner rather than later. He could kind of save his job. He was trying to rush him back, trying to save his job, and risks the chance that he might tear his Achilles, which is just insane to think about. Now that Nico's gone, the Mavs owner Patrick Dumont has come out and said that he is not in any rush to bring back Anthony Davis, and he's taking the more cautious approach advised by the Mavs director of health and performance. And now more information has come out that Anthony Davis and the Mavs, both sides, will actually take a look at the next 2 months leading up to the trade deadline, whether they should trade him or not, and completely go into a full-scale rebuild for the Dallas Mavericks. It's just shocking to see how just 2 years ago they were NBA Finals finalists, and now they're one of the worst teams in the NBA, looking to go into a full-scale rebuild. So with that being said, I'm going to be looking at an Anthony Davis trade to the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors is another team who's heavily struggling to start the season. They haven't looked the same since after they traded for Jimmy Butler last post-trade deadline, and they went on an insane run to close the second half of last year. An Anthony Davis trade could really shake things up and bring in that all-star superstar big man that Steph Curry has really never played with, and give them another scorer and dominant player, and help the Warriors push into contender status, and try to obviously help Curry get a championship with his last few seasons in the NBA. Before actually getting into the trade scenario I built for Anthony Davis to the Warriors, I'm going to talk about the fit a little bit. Of course, you pair Anthony Davis with a point guard like Steph Curry. His gravity, his shooting is just going to open up the floor for Anthony Davis to work even more. And alongside, you have Al Horford, who's still older, but he's still a knockdown shooter, and obviously a center that Anthony Davis wants to play with because he always prefers his power forward position. Anthony Davis balances out Al Horford's lack of rebounding, while Al Horford provides the additional defense and that extra shooting to give even more space to Anthony Davis. Then Jimmy Butler's still on the team. He still got his toughness. Jimmy Butler can focus more on the defensive end instead of a scorer, which he never really is until it's playoff time. Then, Jimmy Butler's a whole different beast in the playoffs. But I think Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, that can easily win you a series or two, even depending on matchups and health-wise, of course. So the trade I built up is Jonathan Kuminga, Draymond Green, Brandon Podziemski, and 2 first-round picks going to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Anthony Davis. So getting more into the trade, Jonathan Kuminga, who they just signed to a $22 million deal after this offseason going back and forth. And he eventually returned on a pretty massive deal, I would say, for Kuminga. You trade him. He's still a young player. He still has a lot of potential. He could really grow and blossom in Dallas, given more opportunity to play alongside Cooper Flag as well. They also get Draymond Green. He's just mainly for salary, honestly. Like, you just pair him up with Klay Thompson at this point. But if the Mavs really want, they could probably look to trade him and flip him as well. Or, they could probably stretch out his contract and let him go play somewhere else. He's mainly just for salary. He's pretty, he's up there in age. He doesn't really have much value, especially to a Mavs team who's looking to tank and rebuild. And then Brandon Podziemski is another player. He's a young player who's kind of fallen off the radar a little bit. He's not as highly ranked as a young player as he once used to when he was a rookie. He's kind of fallen off now. Obviously, he's playing alongside Curry and in a winning culture, so he doesn't really have room to make errors or really take a lot of shots or get his stats up. Put him at the point guard position alongside Cooper Flag. I think he will do amazing. We also got 2 first-round picks. One is a 26th first-round pick, top 5 protected from the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors are probably going to be pretty good, so the Mavs should be getting that pick maybe around the 20 to 30 range, which, nowadays, there's good players up to the second-round pick, even undrafted. It's still a very good pick. You still get another first-round player. It's not a bad pick at all. And then the interesting pick is a 28 first round pick, which I have top 8 protected. Maybe you could do top 5 if you think the Mavs, need a little bit less protection for Anthony Davis. But the top 8, top 5 protected. 2028, who knows how the Warriors will look like, Steph Curry probably will be retired. Who knows about Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis. So that later pick could actually turn out to be a very valuable pick. But overall, that's the trade scenario I have for Anthony Davis to the Golden State Warriors. You guys let me know if the Warriors need to give up more. Maybe they gave up too much. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that trade scenario. But overall, of course, Anthony Davis, he's probably going to be out for a while. I don't see the Mavs rushing him back at all, especially with Kyrie Irving still probably out until the trade deadline. If the Mavs commit to tanking, you probably won't see Anthony Davis in a Mavs uniform at all anymore. He'll probably end up either sitting out the season or probably getting traded at the deadline to a new team. But anyways, you guys let me know how you guys feel about Anthony Davis to the Warriors and the trade scenario I came up with, as well as if you actually do think Anthony Davis will get traded alongside Kyrie Irving, and if so, where. And thank you guys for watching.